Good morning. It is Friday, April 24th, 2020, and we're here for my mid-morning stretch. My name is Terry Morgan, and some of the exercises that we're going to do are from my previous Tai Chi studies, and some of them are from dance, classical dance. And we're going to start out with a circle, big circle. And for those of you who were here on Wednesday, you will know that I injured my back fixing the gutter in the back of my house. I was on the ground. I did not fall, but I was pushing this piece of gutter into the other piece of gutter, and I turned an odd way. Happily, I am about 95% right now. I need a couple more days, but it's been, I've done a little bit of work and I've done a little bit of rest, and I'm sharing that because this is something that happens to everybody from time to time. Doesn't matter if you're trying to do something athletic or you're trying to just fix something around the house. Sometimes you're gonna get hurt. And if you understand what you did, it's the same as diagnosing a computer system. You know what you did, then you can kind of figure it out. So if you know what you did, and you can kind of isolate this, lot of anatomy and physiology in there, you can isolate that muscle group or that area of the body, focus on it, do everything possible to restore it or allow it to restore itself to its best state possible. Okay, that allow it to restore itself. Okay, so if I have an injury, let's say I have an injury to my elbow, easier to see. I have an injury to my elbow, and every time I extend my arm down, it hurts. It's causing pain here. I've strained my elbow. I've done something, and this causes pain. So one of my solutions would be to not do that. Whether I just kept my arm here or whether I wrapped it, did something else, I'm going to not do this for a while because it hurts. Then I'm going to look at it internally, get out my anatomy book, and I'm going to say, what part, what do I have here that could possibly be causing that pain? What are the components? There's a lot going on in here, but let's suppose that it's right here, that I had, that hurt. I twisted my arm somehow. I may not remember how I did it, but now that I'm looking at it, now that I'm paying attention to it, I find that's what hurt. Now I can start to adjust what I'm doing to allow those muscles to rest. They're resting. Arm's not moving. They're not going nowhere. Okay? Now, in this case, it's not my arm that's bothering me. It's the lower part of my back. And so it's a little bit more difficult, but it's the same principle. Okay? Rest. Allow the body to do what it can do naturally. Help it as much as possible. Rest. In my case, warm blanket. Gentle exercise, right? And listening to what your body is telling you. Your body says, yeah, don't do that. All right, don't do that. That's real simple. All right, now, body says, yeah, okay, we could try. And so this morning, let's try. Feet about shoulder width apart, big circle outward, hands down at your sides, pull up through the crown of the head, Shoulders down and relaxed. Relax the back, bend the knees a little bit. Hands circle to the front. Open through the back. And hands return to both sides. Up along center line. Stretch up. And bend the knees. Stretch out. And right about here I start to feel a little bit, so I'm going to bend my knees a lot more and take the weight more into my legs. Because I did this earlier and I was okay, so it's just a little bit stiff. It rained today. And there's my cat. There's him. Alright, and gently roll up. And we're going to do this 2 more times. So we had some thunderstorms this morning, and that tends to cause me to be a little more stiff than normal. Okay, and bend more, bend the knees more. And roll up. Gently. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stretch out over the legs. Bend the knees more. Let the legs carry the weight. Gently roll up. And stretch all the way up. Elbows drop down. Wrists. Fingertips. So I want to talk about this for a second, and then we're going to do our inward circle. I'm probably going to be working that a little bit smaller, a little bit higher than normal. The ability to transfer your weight into and through your legs in order to raise the body is an extremely useful skill. It's also something that we want for dance, for lots of sports, especially if you're jumping, right? I don't jump, but it's useful. There are different kinds of chores and activities and things that require a lift. If you got kids, you picking up the kids, right? Laundry, taking out the trash, you're picking up things and you're doing something, and there's a weight there that you have. If you consistently take that weight onto this part of your back, you will hurt yourself. Guaranteed, 100%, you will hurt yourself. Okay? Don't do it. Okay? So, we're going to do exactly the same kind of thing that we would do in these exercises, and that is at a certain point where you feel you need to engage this part of your back, sink into the leg and use the leg more to support the weight. You can use the lower back, and you should, because you want to work it and make it more supple. I'm not using that particular part of my back right now because it hurts. So it's just not happening. But as you can see, there's a whole range of movement that I have that I can execute without having to use that particular part. Small part, it's isolated. Being able to do that is a skill that can be acquired. It's knowing your anatomy, understanding how the body is connected, what those muscles and tendons are, where they are, how they work, how they're connected, right? And then being able to, for me, it's being able to visualize that. Grey's Anatomy, okay? It's old, but it has great pictures. It's very technical. It's not written for, let me put it another way. It's written for medical, so all of the terminology that goes with medicine is there. It's all the correct terminology. So if you don't like Latin, just look at the pictures. But the point is, once you can visualize what's going on, once you can visualize an area of your body, then you can start to use the muscles that are there, which may not have been may not have been a muscle that you consciously thought about using, right? We're making that conscious. So we're going to do our inward stretch. Again, pay attention to using the leg, dropping the weight, using this part, excuse me, it's right here, this part of the leg, to support more of the weight, not all of it, but most of it, of the body as we go down and come up. Circle in, open, raise up, stretch up, keep the shoulders down, open the arms, follow the fingertips down, roll gently, and right about there start to feel a little bit, so I'm going to bend my knees a little bit more. There we go. And as I come up, I've got most of my weight on my legs. I've not rounded my back as I normally would. Because that part of my back is not moving right now. Relax, pull up, roll down, nice and easy. Keep the circle, use your legs. Stay upright. Hands return to your sides. Okay, so this, keep the circle. And I've talked about this a little bit before. This idea that as we circle out, the pattern is a circle. The same for the inward direction. The pattern is still a circle. So we're looking for that circle. Here's my circle. Here's my circle, right? Wherever that is, you want to work on perfecting how smooth can you make that circle? How continuous, right? So this idea of smooth, there's nothing jumpy, everything's in good harmony, that everything feels comfortable and easy. We have this notion of, professional athlete makes something look easy, whatever they're doing. It could be a professional skater that's doing some really complicated jump with spins and things, or a gymnast that's doing some really impressive things. It could be anything. We look at it, and as we're looking at that, the person who's doing it makes it look easy. They make it look easy. We look at it and go, okay, I'm not doing that. But the person who's doing it makes it look easy. That's the element that we want for all of our movement. It should be easy. It should have the outward appearance of being easy, right? Now, you may be internally thinking about, okay, now let me check my arms and my hands. No, I need to turn more here. No, I've turned, I gotta get that timing down. Let's see. All right, now I'm gonna turn here, not here. So I don't want to turn here. I'm gonna wait until I'm here and start that turn. Oh, timing, yes. Right? These kinds of things make your movement more smooth. Okay? It's that smooth and continuous element that we want. That's the essential part. If my circle, if all I can bend is here, and my circle is here, right? If that's what my body is willing to do today, that's my circle. Smooth and continuous. Always in a circle. The more you can practice in that way, with that thought that this is a smooth circle and I want to open my body to allow myself to do that circle, little by little, the range of movement will increase. It may be a few days, my case, but I've been doing this for 40 years, so it's okay. I've learned a few things in that time. All right, but little by little, it's going to increase. It's going to improve. And you may not notice it, but if you, let's say you practice these exercises with me every time I'm online, it's 3 days a week. You practice with me 3 days a week for the next 6 weeks, I can pretty much guarantee you that you could look back at what you were doing now compared with what you'll be able to do in 6 weeks, and you will notice a difference. And it'll be a positive difference, okay? So let's do our side stretches, okay? And again, I'm going to continue facing you. I'm going to do the opposite. So you're going to go to your left, I'm going to go to my right, and I'm probably going to be making that little bit smaller circle still, but let me see when I get into it, see what happens. So breathe in, Breathe out. And pull up. You're going to turn to your left. Reach out over the hip, bend the legs. Circle around. Pretty good. I'm checking as I go down. Yeah, this is okay. I'm okay on this side. That's good. Yay. All right, now on the other side, coming up. Being really careful. Breathe in. It's right there. Okay. As I'm doing this, I'm giving voice to what I'm doing internally. So at this point, I'm checking through my hip and into my lower back, which just told me don't go quite so low. As I turn, transfer the weight, and come up, same set of muscles is telling me to reach out a little bit more. And turn, center, keep going. One more. Relax into it. Breathe in. Let the breath help the body rise. And come to center. Turn to the other side. Your right side. Circle down. And I'm going to have to be real careful on that side. All right. Circle. Yeah, that worked. All right, do one more. Center, elbows drop down, fingertips, hands return to both sides. Okay, so I gave voice to a couple of these things just now because it's important for anybody that's learning how to practice anything to understand what's going on with their body. Excuse me. And I've got to pay attention to what I've got going on, so I decided to share it. It's useful, okay? So, right in here is where I have the injury, right? I could describe it in more detail, but we don't need to go there. So what I was talking about as I was going through these exercises was internally, as I'm doing this, if I'm thinking about, all right, I've been injured or not, right? The or not part is what we normally do. I have an exception, so I'm doing something that's a little bit different, but relies on exactly the same concepts as what we normally need to do. and that is looking inside as well as outside to pay attention to what's going on inside the body. All right, so what I've done is to kind of hold this one area in my back. I'm going to hold it there, just the same as I was describing with my arm, right? This hurts, then I'm not going to do this, right? I hold my arm there and it doesn't hurt and it's relaxed and I can let it heal, because every time it hurts, it's telling me don't do that. Okay? That kind of pain, don't do that, okay? I'm not going to do that. So if I hold this steady and I look around at what causes something that's connected with that area to alert me, I don't have to wait for it to scream. I can let it alert me. Hey, hold up there, wait a minute. Don't do that. Listening to your body is so, so important for anything that you're going to do, sports, dance, anything that you're going to do that requires you to participate in an activity that you have to think about what you're doing physically, where you have to actually do something. Baseball, basketball, football, soccer, you name it. You're thinking about what you're doing physically. You're developing skills. Anything that you do has this kind of a thought process. So, let's floor exercises. Yeah, it's taking me a minute. There we go. Okay, so it's this idea of being able to not only know what your body parts are, what do I have to work with, right? But being able to use them and not use them, if you wish. Now, in this position, my back does not bother me at all. It's happy. Okay? As I bend forward a little bit, yeah, maybe not so much. Not today. And we're going to do that a little bit because that's the way that that mobility is going to come back to me, is by doing these exercises, but making sure as I do them that I am not doing too much, that I'm opening that injured area gently, very gently, little by little. In Chinese, there's an expression, man man lai. Man man lai. Man means slowly. The two words man man, it's repetition. Means very slowly, or it can mean some small part by small part. Lai, come, man man lai. Little by little, increase. Then you can keep it. Okay? If you try and go, so I'm going to go one day and I'm going to try and touch my nose to the floor, and I'm going to go the second day and I'm going to try and touch my nose to the floor, and I'm going to go the third day, I'm going to try and touch my nose to the floor. By the fourth day, you're getting pretty tired, you're getting frustrated because you can't get there. I'm excluding the 3 and 4 year olds that are sitting next to you, who can already do this. All right, it's not a problem. Okay, but you just get frustrated and you give up. You say, I can't do that. It's not going to happen. If instead you say, today I want a range of 15 degrees. Now more geometry again. All right, yeah, but yeah, I'm going to do geometry. 15 degrees, just a little bit. Okay, from here to where I'm going forward, just that much. Just that much. Roll forward. and check it. Yeah, everything's okay, that's pretty good. Alright, now I'm gonna go a little bit more. Yeah, well, I'm still good. I'm still good. I can keep going a little bit more even. Okay? That process of little by little, over time, will get your nose to the floor. And along the way, you develop the skill that you need to keep it. It's not do this once or twice and now I know it. It's I've been doing this for 3 weeks and I can really feel that there has been some improvement in my hips. So I'm going to keep doing it and I'm going to keep getting better at it. And maybe I'm only going to ever get to 45. I'm not going to get my nose to the floor. Oh well. It doesn't matter. If I was 12 and auditioning for a major ballet company, it would matter. I'm not 12. And I'm happy with most of my mobility. I'm really happy with a lot of it. So, let us open the legs. Let's go back to this open the one leg. Okay, so I'm going to take my right leg out to the side, keep my left leg here. Alright, left leg close in, right leg extended out. I'm going to reach over toward my toes, right? So if I'm here and I put my hand on top of my toes, fine. I don't want to grab my toes. I want to grab my ankle. Okay? And left hand on the left thigh, just above the knee. Press just a little bit, just a little, on the knee. You can push your body over. As you press here, pull here. Right? Think about reaching out over the leg. I'm not going very far today. Reach out over the leg and touch your ear to your knee. And release it. And let's do that again. You're going to reach out and grab the ankle. Press on the knee. Push yourself toward your ankle and pull. So you have this kind of thing going on. This push, this pull. Push, pull. And straighten up. And as you reach over, try to pull up to reach out and over so that you don't crunch this down and try to come out. That's a valid move. We have this kind of move in our Wudang Qigong and we have it in our Wudang Tai Chi. Yang style has it, and it's called snake creeps down. But that's not what we're doing with this stretch. Okay? And it's harder to do that. Trust me, it's harder to do this one than it is to do this one. So let's go over, up, and over to the ankle. Press down on the knee. Pull. So pull your body down to the leg. And notice that I've got, as I'm doing this, I've got my elbow on my knee, right? So I've reached out, I've got the ankle, got my elbow on my knee, and I'm going to push
and I'm going to pull. I want to pull my body, not my leg, right? And straighten, other leg. Yeah. I have yet to meet anybody who works out who has not gotten injured. And I have yet to meet anybody who works out and has gotten injured that was happy about it. Not. Pain. um, uh, literally sometimes, yes, but it's more of a, I know I can do this, but just not today. But I want to be able to do it today. So, right hand, reach down, and yes, I'm still having a little trouble with my foot, so I have my leg warmer on. Reach down, grab the ankle, and I've bent, this side engages over here, so it's still a little bit stiff. So I've got my knee bent, giving me a greater reach to be able to get to my ankle. Alright? And right hand, press down, gently pull, reach out over the leg, and straighten. Right, now, technique, show you something. I just pull my foot back to me, alright, now I've got the ankle. So I'm having trouble engaging that section of my back. Once I'm there, it's good, but getting there is still a little bit of an issue. So there's a technique for that, right? Bend the knee, elbow is still on the knee, right? Same as I had on the other side. And now as I push, I'm going to extend the leg and stretch. I still get a fair part of the stretch, and as I come back up, it's okay. What I've done though is, instead of asking the muscles that are telling me they're injured, don't use me, it hurts, instead of using those muscles, I'm using a completely different set of muscles to do a similar kind of a stretch. The stretch feels great. The stretch itself feels great. That opening and going out over, it's the effort to go over, right? And the effort to come back up. Effort to come back up is easier because I can push from the other side. Okay? This, it may sound kind of arcane to some folks, and maybe it is, I don't know. But these are things that I'm using actively right now, and I think that I'm not doing anything that's particularly unique. I think this is a pretty common approach for a lot of folks to doing what they do. So we have our open stretch, right? And I've talked about this as being able to go back and forth with a partner. So both people have legs open. One person legs outside, one person legs inside. Depends on your leg length. What you're going for is the ability to rock back and forth. And if in a partner exercise, you're going to help your partner by supporting their weight. So if my partner's here, as I go back, there's resistance here because whoever that person is, whatever their weight is supporting me partly as I go back. The same as I'm being pulled, right? So push, pull. As I'm being pulled forward, it makes it easier for me to open my hips and stretch because there's a force that's pulling me forward. Now, practice on your own. The same kind of thought should be there. So as I'm leaning forward, I'm thinking about my hand is reaching out, my hand is reaching out, my hand is reaching out. I'm still going, hand is reaching out, I'm still going, yeah, there it goes, I'm still reaching. Alright, so I'm not thinking as much about how to release the hip. Right, we did that. Both hands behind, press up, keep the leg on the floor, pull up inside the hip, right? Push forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Push up and push forward. Back and push up and push forward. Okay, that idea stays here as we're going back and forth. So if there's a person there, if there's not a person there, I still have this idea that I'm reaching out. I can use the floor, whatever I'm on, to help with that. Walk myself out with my hands, right? And walk back. Hands about center in both thighs, so my knees here, my hips here, about right here. Hands on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about where I'm going. That's about as far as I'm going today. Now, the further out I can walk, right, the more open my hips are, the more stretch I have. And I can actually use this the same as I can use this to pull myself toward the floor. As I shift to go back, I have the same kind of thought that I've got something I can hold on to here. There's resistance. And as I go back, I've got resistance. I've got something to hold. It's totally imaginary. Anybody that's ever studied mime understands this completely. It's your imaginary wall, right? I have this thing here that you can't see, but I can. And I'm showing it to you by how I move. Extend, hold, 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 reach out, grab something, reach out, grab something, and pull yourself up. All right. We have our, yeah, I'm going to try this. So, one leg front, one cat front. Move, cat. That's good, Dave. No, you can stay right here, but you can't be right there. You see, people have to see my leg. We need to know where the leg is. Yeah. Okay, so one leg is front, one cat is side, the other leg is back. All right, and I'm just going to push from the opposite hand toward the leg that's tucked up behind you. Okay? And reach out. Press down gently, very gently, very gently. For me, extremely gently. On the leg, okay? So you want the leg here, not the hip here. On the leg. And turn it back, toward the back, just a little, just a little. So, as you press down, it's this move. Oh, yeah. All right, yes. Your leg will actually do that. If you're 3 or 4 and you're doing this, none of this is a problem. If you're older, just getting to this position may be a problem. Okay, and we're going to change legs. All right, and the same thing again. The opposite side, push, turn just a little bit as you press. Find the leg, find the top of your leg. Very important to have that piece, right? Find the top of your leg, and then as you push, turn just a little bit. Push your thumb into your. Basically, push your thumb into your hip. Gently, not a lot, just a little bit. Release it. And one more time. And let it go. And one more time. Turn, press, breathe out. And release it. Okay. We have one more that I'm going to do here. And this one is your feet should be more or less flat. So we've done a stretch where we have the legs in this position. I'm going to open them up just a little bit more. Ankles. So I'm going to grab the ankles, put both my elbows into the space here where my knee is bent. And I'm going to pull to go forward. I'm going to do that one more time so you can see it from here, and then I'm going to turn to the side so you can see it from the side. So I'm here and I'm straight. My back is straight. I'm going to drop the elbows to the knees. As I get my elbows on my knees, I'm going to start to pull myself forward. And keep the back straight. And push up with the arms. Use your arms against your legs. Push up. Use your hands to push your arms straight. Return to a straight position. What this does is it takes almost all of the weight off your back. Lets you engage to stretch the muscles without having to use them to support your body weight. Your body weight supported here, right? You're sitting, number one, and then you're taking your weight onto your arms as you do the stretch forward. Okay? The closer you can keep your legs, the closer in you can keep your legs, right? as opposed to out here versus here is better. But it's another one of those you have to build up to it. Alright, so I'm here. I've got my ankles with both hands. And my elbows are looking for my knees as I stretch forward. And right about here, I've taken all of the weight off of my back. It's all on my arms and my legs. Right? And as I stretch forward, I'm going to pull my ankles into me as I stretch out over my legs. And then push down to straighten the arms. We're going to do this again. Push down to straighten the arms. And let that opposing force bring the body back to an upright position. This is physics. I'm pushing down, my body's going somewhere. Let it happen. Relax. Roll into it. Breathe. And then as you push up, allow it to happen. Don't resist. That's what happens. A lot of people, they're trying to do something and they resist and it's not working. This is don't resist. Okay? Ankles. Pull up. Breathe in. Elbows are looking for the knees. And release the back. Stretch out. All the weight on the legs and the arms. Stretch out. Reach out. And relax. Breathe. Relax. Breathe out. Breathe in. Slowly straighten the arms. Let the body return to an upright position and relax. This concept of letting some parts of the body relax, allowing the force to do something else, right? I was talking about this concept of 4 ounces can deflect 10,000 pounds. It's the point at which you apply the force, the timing, and the angle, everything that goes with making a change to some movement. At what point do I move? If my example from before, what point do I step aside to avoid walking into a person that's walking toward me? Alright, and yeah, it's going to be stiff for a day or two. Okay, so I'm walking here, and somebody else is also walking here. If I continue to walk along this line, I'm going to walk into that person. If I do this, which is just a little bitty change, it's that 4 ounces, all of a sudden now I don't have to walk into that person, or I'm not going to walk into that person, right? So the same principle applies to how we do movement. The same principle applies to making these small, what seem to be fairly minor
adjustments in whatever we're doing so that we can engage this particular group of muscles, that particular group of muscles, or not, in my case, or not, and work toward having that level of facility. The exercise that I just showed, being able to use with, let me say, I'm trying to say two things at the same time and it doesn't work. Okay, the exercise that I just showed, being able to use the arms to engage with the legs to release the back while you're sitting, okay? It's a great stretch. It requires being able to focus on, I'm actually going to use my arms and I'm going to use my legs to do something other than what it seems like I should be doing. So I'm going to stretch my back. I should be stretching with my back. No. You're letting the back stretch and you're using something else to help it. Right? That's the principle that I'm trying to get across with this part of the stretch and some of the things that I'm talking about as far as dealing with injury. The other thing that I was trying to say at the same time is that we're also engaging, directly engaging, all of the outer connections that we want for Qigong and for our Tai Chi and for pretty much everything that we're doing. Shoulders with the hips, elbows with the knees, hands with the feet. Okay, in this stretch, I'm asking you to literally engage your hands and your feet, your elbows and your knees, and when we execute the move, the alignment with the shoulders and the hips as we extend outward and as we come back to that straight position. Layers. There's more layers. There's always more layers. Thank you very much for coming by today. I appreciate you joining me for the mid-morning stretch, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Thanks.